In the era of Buddha, there was a city in India called Rajagaha, which was part of the kingdom of Magadha. In this city, there was a boy, the son of a merchant. Remember this merchant's son. The merchant went overseas for trade and encountered a disaster at sea, a great storm. Storms are common at sea. Ships capsize and people drown. This merchant, unfortunately, perished at sea. The family's livelihood fell on the boy's mother, who did manual work such as sewing and looking after children to get by. Through numerous physically demanding jobs, she raised that little boy. It was not easy. They often had to borrow money from relatives and friends. Life was tough. They lived in destitution, and everyone called him the poor kid. Years passed. The child slowly grew up and learned many little skills to make a living. One day, while playing with his friends, he came to Bamboo Grove Monastery, the place where Buddha was giving his teachings. Upon reaching Bamboo Grove Monastery, he saw a wall covered with many drawings. Amongst the drawings, there were depictions of a worry-free paradise, of exceptional beauty where people were well-dressed and attractive. Other depictions were terribly ominous, with scenes of people being chopped into pieces, some being roasted over fire, and scenes of slaughtered cattle and sheep. There were drawings of good and bad, death and birth. It was like a wall of stories about karma and rebirth. He found it both fascinating and terrifying. The boy saw someone standing nearby who looked like a disciple of Buddha. He asked, "Excuse me, what does this mean?" "This is Trayastrimsa heaven." The monk then pointed to a painting of someone being sawn in half. "These are the 18 levels of hell. Why is there a dog? He did bad deeds and got turned into a dog. This person was greedy and turned into a pig. This person exploited others and was turned into an evil ghost, constantly roasted over fire." "Oh, how terrifying," the boy exclaimed. "I'm sweating just listening to you. I'm frightened and amazed at the same time. How thrilling." After talking for some hours, the boy asked, "Are these things real?" The monk replied, "Of course, they are. Some people gained divine powers and saw these scenes. We had painters record them. We couldn't have imagined all of these. Good deeds lead to good outcomes and vice versa. Child, where do you think you'll end up?" The boy scratched his head. "I want to go to heaven. I'll have endless food and drink there. There will be no hunger. I'll have money in anything I want. My lifespan will match the heavens. How wonderful is that? I want to go to heaven." "Do you think I can go?" he questioned. The monk said, "Yes, you can go." "Great, how do I get there?" The monk said, "Become a monk. As a monk, you cannot marry or harm other life forms, and you can't have a family." The boy shook his head. "Now that my father is gone, it's just my mother and me. If I become a monk, she'll have no one. So, I cannot be so unfilial. Is there an easier way? You can keep the 5 precepts. No killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no false speech, and no drinking alcohol." The boy was really smart and thought, "In the future, I will need to take a wife, right? What if I get married and drink alcohol? I won't be able to do it. Is there another way?" I need to hear them all before making a decision. The monk thought about it and agreed that everyone's circumstances are different. Are there simpler methods? The simplest method is making offerings to Buddha and other cultivators. Even offering one meal would work. This way is easy, you only need to give money. The child then asked, "How much would one meal cost?" Many people lived in Bamboo Grove Monastery, studying the Dharma of Buddha. The monk calculated and said, about 500 silver coins are needed to provide for our meal. I see, that is simpler, the boy agreed. But my father left for trade and will never return. I heard he died at sea. We're so poor, we don't have a coin in savings, much less 500. The boy left soon after, thinking about how to gather the money. It is the simplest way. I don't need to become a monk or keep any precepts. I just need money. He kept thinking, the Buddha and masters will help me enter heaven in the future. Where can I find something to do? I need a job. The child had never worked or done any labor. He was young, at most 12 years old, maybe just over 11. First, he let his mother know. Mom, 500 coins isn't that much. It's just that our family is too poor. I can go earn the money. I've told the masters I'll take my mom with me to heaven when the time comes. Yes, 1 ticket for 2 people. The child started looking for work all over. He saw a wealthy family who were busy building a large house. The kid went and asked, "Hey, who's the boss here?" "I am," someone replied. "I'm looking for work." "Go away, kid. What work can you even do? This is grown-up business." "I'm not joking, uncle. I really need some money. I want to work, I must earn money. If I don't do a good job, you don't have to pay me, and I won't come back tomorrow. But if I'm okay, then you can pay me tomorrow, and I'll continue working for you. That's fair, right?" The man thought the kid made sense and decided to try him out. "All right, start working then." He was assigned simple tasks to do, but the kid was very capable and smart. When he worked with everyone, he wasn't a bother at all. First, he was very diligent. Second, he also told everyone stories while he was working. At first, everyone was annoyed and not impressed. But he kept telling many fun stories, and everyone listened happily without it hindering their work. They all worked diligently and their work performance improved. Everyone became unified. By mealtime, they had forgotten their hunger and continued working. Finally, the owner said to stop and eat first. After the meal, the stories continued. The boy would begin once again, as everyone got right back to where they'd left off. The homeowner thought the child was very capable. Despite his young age and small stature, he might be small, but he was really good with people. Just by telling stories, he made everyone work with more dedication. Many construction workers are quick-tempered, right? They often get angry and damage things. But listening to his stories, everyone worked proficiently. This kid was a valuable asset. After work that day, the boss asked, "Kid, can you come back tomorrow?" "Of course, I'm here to earn money after all." The boy came early the next day. He used the same method. It wasn't intentional on his part. He was naturally gifted with a joyful and positive mindset. After dozens of days of work, the house was finally completed. The owner paid all the workers their wages. When it was the boy's turn, he was already waiting and eager. When the old man gave him the money, fearing he couldn't count, he said, "Kid, this is 450 silvers. This is your wage." Upon hearing this, the child started crying. "I've worked so hard for so many days, but I still didn't make 500 coins. He sat on the ground crying. The old man quickly asked, "Boy, tell me, why do you need exactly 500 coins? What's going on? We didn't cheat you in your wages. We found you adorable and didn't shortchange you." His wife agreed. "Yes, child, we all like you very much and wouldn't cheat you." The boy said, "I understand, you haven't treated me unfairly. But I've made a promise to a monk. I want to go to heaven and take my mom with me. But I don't meet many of the requirements. I can't be a monk and leave my mom. I can't keep the 5 precepts. I still want to get married. I was told the simplest way is to use 500 coins and offer a meal for Buddha and his disciples. Then I might be able to go to heaven. Right now, I'm short 50 coins, so I can't go to heaven. I'm so sad. What will I do now? The boy sat crying in a heap on the ground. The old couple discussed with each other. The boy was really cute and smart. What a pity. The couple decided to sponsor the remaining 50 coins. The child was ecstatic upon hearing this. But after a moment of thought, he didn't dare take it. It would be insincere of me, right? I didn't do the work to earn the 50 coins. The child ran back to Bamboo Grove Monastery to find the monk that explained the drawings. The boy said, "You haven't seen me for many days, right? I went to find work. I was earning the 500 coins, but I only managed to earn 450 by myself. It wasn't enough, so the elderly landlord couple kindly donated the remaining 50 coins. Do you think I'm being dishonest and cheating by accepting? Does this mean I can't go to heaven?" The elder monk was wise with an elevated state of mind. "Child, it's actually all about your heart and intentions. Your wish to offer a meal to Buddha and his disciples arose in your heart. The merit of such an act has already been generated. Even if you had only 400 coins, you would still ascend to heaven. It's a test of your heart, the purity and sincerity of your heart. You've done it, my child. Don't worry, okay? You've already secured your ticket to heaven. With your mom as well, it's buy one get one free." Upon hearing this, the boy was overjoyed. He went back and told his mom, who was also very happy. He told his mother, "Mom, let's prepare to make offerings to Buddha and his disciples." There was going to be a couple hundred people. His mother immediately thought of some issues. She said, "We've gathered the money, but our house is so small. It only fits the 2 of us. What are we going to do? How can we invite Buddha into our tiny house? And where would the other disciples sit?" The boy agreed. He hadn't thought of it. They had the money, but no space to make the offering. Then the child cleverly said, "The wealthy family I worked for a few days ago. Their house is very big. Their house and yard are both very large. Their porch alone can seat dozens of people, and there's proper flooring. There's even a roof to shelter from the wind and rain. And their main hall is very large. It's very clean and beautiful. How great and joyful would it be if Buddha were to go?" His mom said, "Child, that belongs to someone else. They might not agree. Mom, don't worry about it. I will go talk to the owners." Initially, the old grandfather didn't believe in Buddhism, but he was moved by the child's sincerity and enthusiasm. They decided that regardless of their own beliefs, Buddha's great compassion was a known fact. Those following him would become the same. No matter what, by offering to the Buddha, we will gain merits as well. It's also rare for us to have the chance to invite Buddha and his disciples to our home. It's a very sacred matter. The couple clapped in agreement. "Let's invite them." The wealthy elder mobilized his family, friends, neighbors, and even his workers and servants. They all worked to get it done. The child used all his earnings, but the couple also spared no expense. "We are offering to so many people in our house. It's an honor for our family." A lot of tasty food and amenities were added. They didn't charge the boy, saying this was a joint effort. The child personally went to invite Buddha that morning, and Buddha graciously accepted. The boy led Buddha and a solemn procession of his disciples to the generous couple's house for the offering. Buddha praised the child, and even more so the couple who offered the use of their new house. as well as all their workers, servants, and neighbors. Praises from Buddha are not just empty words. If he says, "You are auspicious and wealthy," then that's what you'll be. You will be reborn in Trayastrimsa heaven. That will come true. In the future, you will be number one in wisdom. All of Buddha's words are like a divine decree. Everyone was especially happy. Then, something happened. Everyone noticed that when the child and the elderly couple were serving rice to Buddha and his disciples, every time rice was taken from the bowl, it would instantly replenish. This happened with every dish served as well. After everyone was served, it was more food offered than in any other household previously. Yet, the serving plates remained full of rice and food, as if they had never been touched. Wow! Imagine the mindset of those making the offering at that time. They all knelt, not daring to get up. It was kind of terrifying yet also thrilling. Everyone trembled with awe and respect. This was all a manifestation of Buddha's power, a miracle. This phenomenon means that the household will become extremely wealthy and auspicious. This child and the elderly couple, would they become wealthy in the future? I'm sure everyone knows the answer. They received Buddha's blessings. Buddha and all his disciples were very happy and satisfied. Buddha and his followers happily returned to Bamboo Grove Monastery. The child and the elderly couple, along with the workers, servants, and neighbors, were all joyful. Amidst the joy, someone brought news to the house. A large caravan of 500 merchants from abroad had arrived in the city of Rajagaha. On that day, for some reason, all the shops and restaurants in the city were closed. None of the vendors were open. It was incredibly frustrating for the merchants. What bad timing! They went around knocking on every door with a sign, but no one opened their door for them. Asking around, they found out that a child and an elderly couple had invited Buddha and his disciples for a meal offering that day. A miracle was said to have happened. The food kept replenishing itself after being eaten. The merchant group heard the news. Upon hearing there was food, the merchants decided to check it out. They were already so hungry that they were seeing stars. There should have been a lot of food left over, as it kept appearing as they ate. The merchants followed the smell of the food and went to the house. The child said, "Yes, it's true. There's still a lot of food." The leader of the merchants told him, "We didn't want to intrude, but we've been traveling for days without much to eat. Today, we returned to the city of Rajagaha, but for some reason, all the shop's doors are closed. We're really starving. Could you sell us the food that's left over?" The child said, "This food was offered to Buddha. He and his disciples have eaten their fill. The leftovers are a miracle from Buddha. I didn't buy them with money. I won't sell them. I will offer them to you to eat for free." Hearing this, the merchants threw away formalities and dug right in. Everyone ate their fill of delicious food. They were all satisfied and happy. It was only after they had finished eating that they started chatting with the boy. "Hey, boy, who are you? Who are your parents?" The child answered eagerly and rattled off his father's name. As soon as he said his father's name, the merchant leader started crying. He had the feeling you get when what you've searched so hard for comes to you when least expected. "I've been desperately searching for you, child. I've finally found you. I was your father's best and closest friend before he passed away. Before your father's passing, he entrusted me with a great fortune to keep for you. He asked me to find you and hand over this wealth to you, because it rightfully belongs to your family. Hearing this, the child was astonished. It's true, the merchant insisted. He searched in his luggage for the evidence and documents. Just like that, the wealth his father left him made him a wealthy boy overnight. The 500 merchants were also very grateful to the boy for his kind offering. You offered a meal to Buddha and then to us as well. We are all very happy. You are so kind-hearted, you will surely have a bright and promising future. You've received your inheritance. We were all friends of your father. We can't just eat for free. Moreover, as friends of your father, we hope to also offer you some help. Each merchant gifted him with more fortune or a very precious treasure. In the span of one meal, the child became the wealthiest person in the city. Later, it even caught the attention of the king. The boy eventually became a respected elder of the city, a person that was universally recognized by the people as being compassionate, kind, and authoritative. They even called him elder. He grew up to be very smart, wise, and extremely generous, continuing to make offerings to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. He also helped the poor. If he saw orphans, he invited them to live with him. As they grew older, he offered them jobs. He provided food, schooling, jobs, and more. He saved a lot of people. His merits were boundless. I believe this child had only pure and kind intentions. He never once thought, I want to become rich or discover a gold mine. He never once thought that way, having lost his father and living in poverty with his frail mother. He only hoped to take his mother to heaven where there was only joy. The monk described heaven as a place where you can have all that you desire, and your stomach is never empty. This way, they wouldn't have to suffer anymore. If he could live in heaven with his mother, they would be carefree. That was his only goal. When he gained all of his father's inheritance, as well as all of the gifts the 500 merchants gifted him, he thought, this isn't what I wanted. Why do I need all of this? I just wanted to avoid suffering. I just wished to go to heaven. So, he declined them at that time. The merchants heard the child's pure and kind words and said, You are so pure and kind. We must help you. Don't worry, child. If you don't know management, we will teach you. Each of the merchants came over and said to the boy, I deal with horses. I'll teach you how to manage a caravan. I specialize in camels. I'll teach you how to manage a camel team. Get 10,000 camels to do transport from India to China and Nepal. Don't worry, we can manage your wealth for you. Another uncle said, I'm not that rich, I'm just a builder. I own half of the houses in 10 cities. I'll use this money to build and rent houses on your behalf. I'll oversee everything. You'll never have to worry, not even about counting your earnings. This uncle is in accounting. He'll sort out your books. You don't need to bother. The boy, having acquired these sudden riches, didn't think to hide them. He said, now that I'm so wealthy, I won't allow for any poor people in my area. I want every child to have access to education, food, shelter, and employment. The boy, having gained wealth and status, didn't grow up indulging in luxury or debauchery either. Because he had experienced hardship, he kept living a very humble life. When your wealth and achievements reach a certain level, it can lead to a state of mental disorder. You start to feel overwhelmed. Your head spins as if drunk, directionless and unable to tell right or wrong. People can find themselves in this state several times in their lives. Many of today's tycoons and high-ranking officials are the same. When their power and wealth reach a certain level, they actually need rest and guidance. It was the same for him. When he suddenly became the richest and most respected person in the country, he went and asked Buddha how to face it all. Buddha bestowed his wisdom upon him, speaking of higher teaching. The boy had a high level of understanding and kindness. In his past life, he was a practitioner. In his past 7 lives, he made offerings to Buddha, which is why he had such great merit. Let me also remind everyone of this phrase: cultivating both fortune and wisdom. It's because your offerings are so plentiful that you will for sure experience great wealth while on earth. By satisfying your perceptual feeling and letting more people understand how to achieve such wealth, you're the example. In this life, you'll experience all the things associated with being a person of great wealth. Then you must continue your cultivation. If not, you'll decline and fall into the 3 evil paths. If you fall into the hungry ghost realm, then all efforts of cultivation are wasted. In your lifetime, your wealth will be squandered by others. Your life may even be at risk. Forget heaven, the gates of hell are open for you. My child, you must keep cultivating, the Buddha said. Of course, I came to seek your Dharma and teachings. After he heard Buddha speak about those principles, he awakened and immediately attained the cultivation level of an arhat.
How could such a poor young child aspire to make such a great offering? Was it the teachings of the monk that gave him a preliminary understanding of the Dharma, thereby inspiring his initial aspiration?
Many so-called practitioners, including some professors, not all because they teach on a daily basis. When it comes to people of great status, be they sages, masters, or even big bosses, when a child asks them a question, if at that moment they have not properly taken up the role of being a good teacher, it's easy to dismiss children with, "Go play somewhere else. Don't ask silly questions," or to treat their curiosity as a joke. But the elder monk he met was very happy and answered all his questions in a relaxed and pleasant manner. How does one fall to hell? How was heaven formed? What does it mean to be a good person? He explained simply about good people, bad people, heaven and hell, and made it easy for a child to understand. After the explanation, the child was inspired and said, "I want to go to heaven." So, what did he choose? He chose to be a good person. Only good people can go to heaven, and bad people end up in hell. It's about making a choice. Just like when I gave my teachings on family precepts, you have to choose to be a good or bad person. I believe that regardless of whether this monk's name is remembered in history or not, he has already gained a high level of achievement. He saw all beings as equal, not disregarding someone just because they were a child. I should not miss any opportunity to benefit and guide all beings. It's wrong to say, I haven't attained enlightenment. I'm not yet an arhat or bodhisattva. So what right do I have to guide others? It's about guiding others with a kind heart. Once you understand the principles of right and wrong, compassion, and you share them with others and help others, that is helping people, and it will give you boundless merits. Guiding and teaching Dharma to others generate the highest merits. That boy received the monk's guidance. All of his achievements come from the detailed teachings of this elder monk. It sparked such a beautiful story that we can only rejoice after hearing it. How many people did he save? Therefore, a great merchant, a great politician, can truly help and benefit all sentient beings. It's not only Buddha who can benefit all sentient beings. You see, it's all connected.
Why does the offered food keep replenishing itself? Could it be that Buddha knew in advance that these 500 merchants would come and need food? So he compassionately manifested the food in advance for them?
This is the extraordinary and magical part of Buddha Dharma, a phenomenon manifested by the power of Buddha. When you truly give from the heart, like offering 500 coins, when the thought arises in your heart, you've already received the merits generated by that offering. It doesn't matter whether you physically handed over the money or not. It doesn't matter if you were short some coins and someone else gave it. Does that still count? No one is keeping such a precise account. An accountant would say it's not acceptable to be even a penny short. If you owe me a penny, you give me a penny. That's how accountants work. Buddha is not an accountant. What he seeks is your enlightenment, for you to escape suffering. He seeks your true heart. Only a sincere heart can achieve enlightenment. Only a sincere heart can resonate with the divine. Because of this child's sincere heart, he moved Buddha. He must have done great meritorious deeds in a past life to make such an offering. He's so young. What offerings did you make when you were 12? Most people, even up to the age of 82, keep saying, I want to be even richer. But for whom are you amassing the wealth? If you have more than one child, they will always say that you didn't divide your wealth evenly. They make you mad up until your death. You could have lived longer, but ended up passing sooner. The merchants were manifestations of 500 arhats, each offering him wealth and treasures. Even receiving one treasure could make you wealthy enough to rival nations. You'd become the richest person on earth. This child sought not just his own ascension to heaven but also his mother's, to spare both of them from further suffering in this world. He did it not just for himself but for his mother. Moreover, he knew to make offerings to Buddha and the Bodhisattvas, and then went on to help so many impoverished children. This person accumulated great merits in a past life, resulting in such immense blessings in this life. Thus, 500 arhats came to help, guide, and support him. It's our sincerity that moves the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and all the heavenly guardians to offer their support. Let's not even talk about Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Even a local deity, just your local land god alone, can make you extremely rich and renowned throughout the world. After a boy moves the Buddha, he might bestow the blessings of wealth and prosperity for all eternity on him. With just a thought from Buddha, the person is transformed. His merits and virtues are immeasurable. Moreover, he shared his happiness with everyone. When he had jokes, he wanted to share the joy with the public, feeling it was his responsibility. It's the wisdom that comes from the subconscious. Some jokes were heard somewhere else, but many are made up on the spot, right? He made everyone happy, so everyone liked him. You see, this is wisdom. Where does this wisdom come from? It comes from the compassion, offerings, and cultivation of his past lives. Therefore, this child was blessed with both fortune and wisdom. Hence, his future wealth and achievements in cultivation were of a high level. True cultivation in guiding others are not forced, but naturally emanate from inner compassion. That is true compassion. Otherwise, it feels stiff, rigid, uncomfortable, and not harmonious. Then your teachings will not flow smoothly. In that case, others are reluctant to accept or they don't understand. Teachings need to be practical. Only with understanding can you attain enlightenment. These all require the cultivation of wisdom and virtue to achieve the effect of being blessed with both fortune and wisdom. To attain such wealth, we must cultivate both fortune and wisdom. You must be able to bear, control, and enjoy this wealth. That is true wealth. Otherwise, when you're poor, there's no problem. But once there's money, the whole family fights and breaks apart. Is this the kind of wealth you want? No, it's a disastrous wealth. A mere sum of money can tear your family apart. This is not accumulating virtues. Instead, it's the squandering of fortune. The money is like a golden bomb, blowing your family apart. True fortune and wealth are why I talk about cultivating both fortune and wisdom. Having both fortune and wisdom is having true blessings. If everything in your life is wonderful, that is fortune. The state of your enlightenment is wisdom. The wisdom of Buddhism isn't about being promoted from associate professor to a full professor, or increasing one's salary from 20,000 to 50,000. That's not wisdom at all. The wisdom in Buddhism is on a much grander scale. It's about seeing the state of things in 1,000, 100,000 years. It's about the well-being of your family, present and future, and of your descendants. That is true auspiciousness. It's grander and more enduring. What I'm talking about is true. So, look at the bigger picture. If you only look at the short term, like becoming a billionaire today but you end up dead next month, who would want that? But in reality, many people encounter situations like that. If you gain wealth that you shouldn't have, can you handle it? Can you enjoy it? You won't be blessed because of it. Instead, you'll suffer, be torn apart, and from then on, lose all that you love. Is that happiness? So, everyone, think about what true happiness is. The wisdom I speak of is a realm much higher than merely acing an exam, finding a job, or earning more money. It's about seeing far into the future. But it's not to say it's unrelated to the human world. It is absolutely connected to our happiness in life. This is the kind of fortune and wisdom we need to learn.